It has been 2 entire years since the last episode of Ask Pre-Built, but it's making a return today, and we're going to jump in with a bunch of questions about 7 Days to Die, as well as questions about the channel that you have left me in random little corners of my channel using the tag AskP. If you leave that anywhere on my channel, I can find your question and answer it in the next video. Without any further ado, let's move into the first question. Question 1. Do you plan on going back to building bases in 7 Days to Die at some point? Also, I'm really enjoying the current EFT series. I'm glad to hear you're enjoying the Escape from Tarkov series. And yes, I do plan on going back to making 7 Days to Die Horde bases, but not because I actually like Horde bases. They're just very good content for 7 Days to Die channels. They're very successful videos, they go quite far. I personally don't like to use Horde bases in my actual playthroughs because it's just a massive waste of time for me. Because here's the thing. You have to spend loads of time to gather up loads of resources, particularly mining your stone, crafting your cement, and then placing the blocks. And if you're doing upgrades, you might have to go through wood and cobblestone as well. And it's a big time sink. And what do you get for your time sink? You get a boring Horde night that nobody wants to watch. And you get a sore hand from holding down the trigger the whole time. You waste loads and loads of ammo, and at the end of the day, you just have to repair the base again and do it again next week. I prefer to just find a new place, maybe adapt to POI a little bit. I find more value in showing you guys how easy it is to switch some POIs you find in the wilds into Horde bases that can last you 4 or 5 weeks in 7 Days to Die, and then you can move on to a bigger building, or you can build a dedicated Horde base. What I tend to do is do Horde nights on rooftops until my character is like built up enough to be able to just run around on Horde night, just on foot in the street. It's more enjoyable, it feels more rewarding, it's more challenging, but it's not like really challenging. It's not like I'm stuck in place or anything. It's just not worth all the effort to make the Horde bases in an actual playthrough, I don't think. Especially since so many designs have been nerfed by the fun pimps over the years that it's kind of just stale. You build an elevated Horde base, you make a bridge and a staircase, and you make a bit where you stand and the zombies can't get to you, and then most Horde bases are variations of that. There's a few other cool designs out there, but mostly it's that same formula, and it's just not rewarding. It's not even rewarding to make content on it because you're just making the same video over and over again. I will be doing some updated Horde base guides because I didn't do any in 1.0. Didn't do a single. I don't think I built a Horde base in 1.0, so in 2.0 I will return. I will make more. Just needed a break from it because it's just so repetitive. Let's move on to the next question. Will you possibly do a version of 7 Days to Die modded like Afterlife, Rebirth, or Darkness Falls? Or even a video with Nerdlit, or even Guns, Nerds, and Steel? Well, I have done videos with Nerdlit and Guns, Nerds, and Steel. I streamed with Laney this weekend, and I've done lots of streams with Guns, Nerds, and Steel, and I have a video of us taking on a day 7000 Horde with the worst Horde base I've ever designed on the channel. It's a couple of years old, but still a good video. And yeah, I would do more content with both of them. Guns, Nerds, and Steel is a very busy man. I don't like to bother him with collaboration ideas unless I have a really good one, but he asks me to come along every now and then, and I do tend to help him out. I was on the Hope Radio series for a couple of episodes, and I was glad to help him out. I didn't make any videos on it or anything because I was just busy, and I'm sure I'll make more content with Laney at some point. As for modded 7 Days to Die, Afterlife, Rebirth, or Darkness Falls, none of those mods specifically. Those just aren't my cup of tea. But I do play modded 7 Days to Die. I play the Escape from Tarkov series, and I have done many modded series as well. I think there's 4 or 5 of them on the channel, including Wild West and Sorcery. Those ended very early though. But yeah, I'll probably do more mods. If I see a mod that catches my attention, like the Escape from Tarkov mod, I will do that. The Escape from Tarkov mod has just been very, very good, and the developers have been very, very active with me in my community and stuff, so I've been more inclined to keep doing their mod for now, and I will do it in the next update as well, when they update it for 2.0. I won't just be doing Escape from Tarkov forever, of course. I know I've done 2 series on it in a row, so it might feel like it, but it won't be, don't worry. Next question. Did you ever think about building a community or community projects like a 7 Days to Die server or something else? Well, I have built a community. I have 67,000 subscribers at the time of recording, a couple thousand followers on various social medias, Discord of like 600 people. And there's even little pockets of Redditors who hate me. Those are communities in a way. So I've done that part. But as for community servers, I have also done those before. The thing about that is I'm kind of large enough to the point where it becomes really impractical to do community servers publicly, because you will easily fill up 50 slots if you stream that, and that's just a lot of people to manage. That's a lot of drama. Like that's like a server of 50 people. That's a professional thing that someone should be moderating, you know. It's not my responsibility to be doing that, and I don't want to pawn that off on any of my like usual moderators and stuff. That's just too much. So if I was doing a 7 Days to Die server, it would be a private one. Approved members of my Discord and like paid members of my Patreon and stuff, just to keep it like at a manageable level of people, because there's so many people and there's so much drama. And every time there's a 7 Days to Die server and I do it publicly, there's always like 5 or 6 people we have to get rid of because they just cannot play video games with other people and be normal about it. So yeah, it's kind of become quite impractical for me to do it publicly. But yeah, I probably will do another one at some point, and I might stream it, I don't know. Next question. If you were to collaborate with other 7 Days to Die creators, would it be vanilla or modded? Whatever those creators wanted to do. Whoever I asked, I would say, hey, do you want to do this? Do you have any mods you want to play? The thing about content creators you have to know is like we're always open to more content. We are content brained. If I ask someone if they want to help me with something and they're like, hey, I had this tip off to this mod, it's apparently really good, do you want to try it? I'd be like, yes. New thing video, yes. So it would depend on them. I have done a full playthrough of a 7 Days to Die with another creator, Laney, from Nerdlit Gaming, link in the description probably if I remember. And it ran for like 12 episodes and it was vanilla, and it was pretty fun, even for 7 Days to Die. Next question. When was the last time you actually genuinely enjoyed playing 7 Days to Die before you played the Tarkov mod? Well, I usually enjoy it whenever I play multiplayer anyway, because it's fun to play games with friends even if the game's shit. But excluding multiplayer, I would say the Swarm series, which I think is about as old as the AskP built series. It's a couple of years old now. It was just modded to be very what I like. Lots of extra vehicles, lots of extra guns, lots of extra enemies. It was just fun. It was a pain to edit with all the extra fighting, but once I got the balance right, it was pretty fun. It was kind of like a predecessor to the Escape from Tarkov mod. Next question. While I enjoy a lot of your content, the Tournament of Champions was truly epic. Would you ever do another one of those? Probably not, because the first one went to complete dog shit, because the host just couldn't play nice, basically. For silly reasons, I'm not going to go into it, I'm not going to mention names and stuff, it's just not worth it, but it went really poorly. The Tournament of Champions was really shit in terms of the rules, because it meant that you were incentivized to keep re-rolling until you got a run where you got lots of points, which was based completely off of RNG, because it would be based on if you got this many radiated cops, you would get that many points, to the point where you could be a minute faster someone in the run, and you'd lose because they killed more radiated cops. It was dumb. If I was going to do it, I would either want full control to do the hosting myself, which means I probably wouldn't be doing the runs, which is probably not what people want to see. They probably want to see me do the runs. I'd recommend that it was just done on speed and we all did custom POIs where it was a static like amount of zombies and it was static spawn, so we always knew what was going to be there, and you just test it based off of how fast you can clear the POI without dying, for example. It could be a really cool thing to do live and like on a large scale, but when you want to do things on a really large scale, you got to bring money into it. 7 Days to Die isn't that kind of a game. There isn't that kind of money floating around to do silly events, you know? But it could be fun. Next question. Other than 7 Days to Die, what other games do you play for fun? Do you plan on playing Ark Survival Evolved or Survival Ascended, or some other survival games anytime soon? Love to watch your videos while I'm gaming. Keep up the good work. Thank you, and I will. So I've answered the other games question a million times. I play a lot of different kinds of games. I'm just going to skip that part of it and go to the Ark part. I will not be playing Ark. I'll give you the absolute shortest version of this I can. Ark single player needs to be toned down quite a bit to make an interesting, compelling series. I'm not going to put out a 300 episode series of slop, because that's what it would require to play a full playthrough of Ark on official settings. And if I'm not putting out 300 episodes of slop, here's the problem. I'm probably doing 40 episodes of actual content and playing hundreds of hours of Ark that I'm not getting paid for, and it's a waste of a lot of time. So I would want to turn the settings up. The problem with turning settings up is you attract the Ark community, and half of them are the worst people you've ever met, and they'll be like, oh, but you couldn't do this on official settings. Yeah, no, because I have a job and a life unlike you. But that's probably why I'm not going to be doing Ark. As for other survival games, yeah, I did Conan the other day there. I did Dune Awakening this weekend, and I'll be doing more of that when it comes out fully. There will be more survival games. State of Decay 3 when that comes out, definitely going to play that, assuming it's not terrible. Next question. Found your channel when you did a collab with Guns, Nerds and Steel along with other 7 Days to Die creators a year or so back, probably the Hope Radio series. Other than survival crafting games, what games or game genres do you enjoy that you don't make content on? Right, well, ones that I don't make content on is probably like first-person shooters. I play a lot of Halo, which you will see later in this video, and a lot of RPGs. Second question, was there any YouTube channel or content creators that inspired you to create your own channel? Here's the funny thing about me. Most people have a positive influence that makes them start a YouTube channel, not me. I had YouTube channels that I really hated, and I wanted to do better content than them. And I was also really pissed off at the state of the 7 Days to Die wiki, so I started doing like just informational videos on 7 Days to Die to get more info out, and I wanted to do it in shorter time frames than what was on offer at the time, which was like 40-minute videos of just reading the wiki that was out of date and stuff, so it was pretty bad at the time. Now I don't do much tutorial work because there's plenty of other smaller creators who have more of a passion for that kind of thing, who will put more effort in than I would, and they need that more, right? Like they need the reach of a tutorial more than I need. I can grow my channel with less reaching content, like my Let's Play stuff, and this. Smaller channels, tutorials are great for it, and I'm not being like, oh, I don't do tutorials so I can let the little channels grow. I just mean like, it's more their job than mine. It's more for the people who really want to grow their channel faster and have the patience and the passion still for the game to do that kind of tutorial stuff. I do still do tutorials, not as much as I used to anyway. So yeah, it was spite that inspired me to make a YouTube channel. Next question. If you were ever to jump to another game semi or full time, what would it be? I would not make the mistake of over-investing into one game again. However, if I was going to do one, I would pick a Bethesda game, because once you get one Bethesda audience, you have the whole Bethesda audience. You get yourself a big Fallout New Vegas audience, you can make Skyrim videos, and there's a big crossover there. You can make Oblivion videos, you can make Fallout 3 videos, you can make Fallout 4 videos. You can really attract the other Bethesda fans, because Bethesda fans tend to just like Bethesda games, as well as things like Bethesda games, so they've got a very broad taste, whereas 7 Days to Die fans kind of just love 7 Days to Die. So I'd probably pick a Bethesda game, probably whatever the next one is, like Elder Scrolls 6, or Fallout 3 Remastered. If you could start your channel over, what would you do differently and why? I would do exactly the same, because here's the thing. If you look at the speed my channel grew at, and you look at all the channels that have been around longer and have done hundreds upon hundreds more videos and have a fraction of my subscribers, clearly I did something right. I didn't do the best. If you want to compare me to someone, the closest time starting would be Guns, Nerds and Steel. Like, clearly he's got like 4 times my subscribers or something. But he is a machine. I would never bother comparing myself to Guns, Nerds and Steel because he's just absolutely inhuman with his work rate. Big mega brained as well, so I don't feel too bad that I'm not quite at Guns, Nerds and Steel subscriber level. You as viewers might be like, hey, if you look at the time frames and you compare them, he did clearly a lot better than him, but actually you're comparing me to the best. I'm comparing me to the hundreds upon hundreds of channels I've watched die in the past 4 years that could have been me and weren't me. So I'm very happy with how big my channel is. I shot up to being upper middle of the subscriber level in 7 Days to Die in a few years compared to a lot of people who have been stuck below 10,000 for a decade, doing a lot more videos than me. Clearly, I've done something right, but what I would do differently is I would probably shut my fucking mouth about the game until I got into the beta program for 7 Days to Die and stuff, so I could get early access just to get myself a little boost of subscribers every year. And I would probably start doing this more like personality driven content and other games earlier, like 10,000 subscribers, start really diversifying the content just to pull off the band-aid faster, because it's going to be a rough transition as I implement lots of other content. I don't intend to stop covering 7 Days to Die until it's completely dead. I want to see it through, I want to see what happens, but I do want to do other things, and quite frankly, I would like to do other things more than 7 Days to Die, but I do want to keep 7 Days to Die as a consistent thing anyway. So nobody panic about me not doing 7 Days to Die. Even though I hate it, I continue to do it out of spite, and I want to see the end of it. See what happens. Does it end up being good? I hope it ends up being good. It won't, but I hope it does. So yeah, I would start doing other content sooner just so it does better by now, and I could be less reliant on one game that is probably, look, either has 3 years or has another 30 years. If we're being generous, it'll be done in 3 years. If we're being realistic, it's probably actually going to take like 6 years to finish this game, isn't it? And it's already been out for 13. Oh my god, they're actually going to hit 20 years in development. That's going to be crazy. We are stupid for playing this game. We are. Like, does anybody realize we are stupid? Why are we doing this? Next question. AskP, why did you decide on the name? It's kind of shit. Well, it's not the name, it's the tag you use in the comment section. It's because people can't spell pre-built. They spell it wrong. They put spaces, they put D's. It's a hard name for them to spell. I changed it to AskP. But for real, what are your overall thoughts on the changed mechanics in the Oblivion remaster? I think all of the changes, except for one, are really good. The new leveling, really good. It solves so many problems. The alchemy changes, not harmful. It just speeds up the pace of alchemy a little bit. Works for me. And indeed, combat changes and stuff are great. The new voice acting I really like. The one thing that gets me is the stamina. Why does it cost stamina to do light attacks with your melee weapon if they removed penalty for using it? Basically, if you never played the original Oblivion, when you use all your stamina up, you would do reduced damage with your weapon, and I think you would have reduced swing speed as well, and you would want to always try and restore your fatigue up so you were always swinging. Now that has been removed, so you can always just keep swinging, and that's not the problem I have. That's just how it worked in Skyrim. The problem I have is, why does it cost stamina to do a light attack at all if you removed that? Because you can spend your entire stamina bar, right, doing light attacks, and then if your stamina bar is fully depleted and you're doing light attacks, nothing changes. So why does the stamina bar exist? It should just be for power attacks and sprinting like it is in Skyrim. As it stands, it just arbitrarily goes down when you light attack and there's no consequence to it. So probably just remove that. But it is a really minor issue. I've never even seen anybody else notice it. And indeed, the sprint animation is pretty shit, but I don't care. Is there a game franchise you've wanted to get into but just couldn't bring yourself to liking? Borderlands. Played hundreds of hours of it over the years, never actually got into it. You know, I never got my teeth in and really started to like it. It's weird. I will probably continue to try and like it, even though I know it's long dead. Next question. What do you think of classic Fallout? I think Fallout 1 and 2 hold up extremely well for the time they came out, 1997 and 1998, I want to say. They're really, really good for the time they came out. Like, they're graphically pretty acceptable. It's not like looking at complete ass. And the only thing, you're just missing a lot of quality of life features that we've developed in the last 30 years. But otherwise, pretty good. It holds up better than the Elder Scrolls games from the same time period. For example, like Arena, Daggerfall, and Morrowind. They are hot ass these days. That the Fallout games hold well. Don't talk to me about the spin-off Fallout games like Tactics and Brotherhood of Steel. I don't want to talk about them. They don't exist. They're not real. They can't hurt me. And the final question. Which Halo game, in your opinion, would you say was the best all around for both the campaign and multiplayer? Here's the thing. It's campaign, Halo 2, best narrative, best gameplay, one of the longer campaigns. It's just the best. There's very few flaws in the Halo 2 campaign beyond those bloody gondola and elevator sections. It's just really good. The weapon sandbox is incredible. The enemy diversity is incredible. The level design, incredible. The vehicle usage, like how they make them integrate with the levels. The fact that the Flood can use vehicles, it's just incredible. I've said that so many times. It is though. Best multiplayer would go to Halo Reach, because even though it has Bloom and Sprint and Armor Lock, which a lot of people really don't like, all of those things were completely disableable, which is really good. And then you just have this incredibly powerful Forge, custom games, and Firefight. You could do literally anything in Halo Reach. Forge and custom games, you could make anything. You could make any map from any of the other games as long as it was in silver, and you could make any game mode. It was just amazing. As long as you turned off Bloom, because half the player base hated Bloom. Now, here's the question. If we're saying what is the best one overall for its campaign and multiplayer, I think it goes back to Halo 2. The campaign outshines Halo Reach's campaign quite a bit. Halo Reach is probably the second best for me, but Halo 2 is just way better. I think Halo 2's multiplayer is pretty damn good as well. It's probably the most well-regarded of the original trilogy. Halo 3's Forge, of course, gives it a bit of an edge, but I think Halo 2 just had the better weapons sandbox and better maps. So if we're talking the full package, It's tough because Reach has a really good campaign, incredible multiplayer, and of course Firefight probably in the best iteration it's ever been in. But I think it goes to Halo 2, and I don't even think that's a controversial answer, to be honest with you. So that has been like 14 questions that I was able to pick out this week. If you want to see more videos like this, leave your comments anywhere on the channel. Of course, it's more convenient if you leave them here, and just put AskP in your comments somewhere and I'll be able to find it and answer it in a video. Let me know if you enjoyed this series return. Let me know if you have any opinions on my opinions, of course, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.